Hello there, dear hearts, vagabonds, and all other worshippers of wood. Yes, hello, my loves. I'm back with a Monday episode telling you what's coming up in the coming week. So, could be quite a bit coming this week, who knows. Wednesday, there may be another mince pie related video. It'll either be the history of the mince pie or reviewing another mince pie. It's one of the two. Thursday, there will be a live stream. I've just decided upon the spur of the moment. So this is the thumbnail. I cobbled it together the other day. There's no theme, but perhaps you can use this as inspiration to decide what you want played. Perhaps apocalyptic songs, who knows? But anyway, explosive songs, perhaps. Yes, we'll go with that. On Friday, if all goes well, there will be a book review. My loves, can you believe it? Yes, I review books sometimes, but there's a massive backlog of books to review. So what I've got 3 books here. I'll show them to you and you can decide via the comments, my loves, which ones you want me to review. So first of all is this one, The Invention of Morel, or Moral, by Adolfo Casares. There's that one, which is quite a nice short book. That was about 100 pages long. Quite a mysterious and strange book involving a strange island and various strange happenings upon it, my lads. It's a strange book, yes. The other thing is, of course, Michael Moorcock's The Vanishing Tower. Now, this I had some problems with because I've got 2 copies of The Devil now. This one is the one I previously purchased, but it's demonic, and halfway through it repeats itself and misses out a massive chunk of the book. But luckily, dear Chris Webster sent me his spare copy. Wonderful chap, wonderful chap. So I was able to finish that. So if you want to hear my review of that, which will be utterly shambolic, of course, do vote for that one. And finally, this one, which is one I was going to review last week and then I couldn't be asked. Stephen King's The Wind Through the Keyhole, my lads, which is a rather wonderful book. I may or may not give it 5 stars. Slight spoiler there. Okay, so that's what's coming this week if I'm lucky, if you're lucky, or if you're unlucky. Depends on your viewpoint, my loves. Okay, other news. As you all know, I'm working. All of my spare time now is being taken up by writing. So I'm writing the sequel to Brown Road Blues, which I'm now currently calling Brown Road Blues 2. It won't be called that, of course. But it reminds me how involved writing is. It consumes all of your time and all of your mental thinking space, which is something I actually love, and I've been missing until I didn't realize I was missing it until I started writing again. So one of the things I love about it is at the end of the day, motherfucker, when I'm going to bed, I turn off the light and I start thinking, and I go back into the book that I'm currently writing. And it's a wonderful way of just exploring ideas. Of course, it does keep you awake a little bit, but it's still fun. But anyway, I'm 31,000 words into that devil. First draft, my loves, is still good. It's going to be at least 6 months away, if that. I mean, it could be a year. Who knows? But anyway, what I thought I'd do is that every time I give you an update, I'll read you a bit that I'm currently working on. So this is chapter before last. So I worked on this a few days ago. I'm just going to read a bit of it just so you can get a flavour. This is raw, my loves. It hasn't been fuckified. It hasn't been prettied. You know what I mean. It's rough around the edges. But anyway, here we go. So this is Tarek Nimblefoot, our dear hero, who's he's visiting an old friend of his who happens to be an artist. In the district of Dilly, my loves. Anyway, here we go. I don't know why you stick it down here in Dilly. You've never really liked it here amongst these bohemian buggers. It is the quality of the light, Tarek, Gaston infused, glancing up at the sky through a gaping hole in the distant ceiling, unparalleled in all of Melodorn. God, you're even starting to sound like a Dillionite, Tarek laughed, shaking his head. As far as I'm aware, the light comes from the same place as it does the rest of the city, that big fiery ball in the sky. You don't understand, Tarek. It's truly special here, augmented by the stone of these old buildings. It was quarried from the mountains far to the east, chosen for the rose quartz that proliferates throughout the sandstone. If you say so, Tarek said, taking out his pipe and thumbing in a small measure of tobacco. Sounds like a load of old bollocks to me. There we are. That's Tarek. He's a bit of a gruff fellow, and he doesn't entertain frippery at any cost. No, he doesn't like artists. But there we are. It's a little tiny morsel. In other news, my hip is still misbehaving. I don't know what to do now, so I'm going to have to see the doctor. A witch doctor, perhaps. Never trust a witch, but yes, maybe I'm going to have to get to the bottom of this. I don't know. I was told about 15 years ago that I've got some kind of bone disease. So when I had my operation on my wrist, which is probably why it's buggered, but I've never got to the bottom of it, I was getting bone growing in all of the joints. Very odd. And so for a while, like my hand was kind of frozen and my thumb was frozen. And I had to do exercises to get it back. And I'm wondering whether that's the case throughout my body, a form of rheumatism or arthritis, perhaps. That could be what's going on, but I won't know until I go down the channel and get various parts of my body x-rayed. But we'll see. Who knows? Who knows, my loves? Okay, the last thing is just a morsel from this morning, my loves, from my job. You know, I drive for a special education and needs school. There's the young boy who sits behind me. I think he's only about 10 years old. Largely non-vocal. He doesn't really say anything. Just he likes to say random stuff that he's garnered from adverts sometimes, or things that he's heard. It doesn't make any sense to us, but it obviously makes sense to him. But this morning, I was at a junction, a busy kind of junction. And you have to really concentrate, don't you? It's so busy. You're aiming for a gap in traffic as safely as you can manage, of course. But to hone my skills, my reactions, I do a countdown. And I'm vocalizing it. I don't realize I'm doing it. But this time I went 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And when I got to 1, the little boy went, blast off! It was really funny. So I thought, I mean, he's a dear little boy, but he never, ever makes eye contact with me. Never, ever. I've known him for about 3 years now. And it's a weird thing to be around someone that long who, you know, by the normal standards of social interactions, someone is always ignoring you, think that they don't engage with you. Well, they don't, and they're not even aware you're there, but he is, of course. So when we got to the school, I parked up, turned the engine off, and I looked behind me, and he was there. He kind of made eye contact for a split second and looked away, and then I went 10, 9. I started doing a countdown and thumping my foot at the same time, and he was getting excited. And I got to the end and said, blast off. And he was having the time of his life. And it's just a wonderful moment between us two. But the rest of the car enjoyed it as well. Anyway, there we are. That's the level of entertainment I provide on the daily drives. Anyway, let's leave it there, my lads. I've spoken long enough. There's going to be a lot of me coming your way this week. So hold on to your tits. Cheers, my loves, and cheerio.